Alright, moving on. Today we are proceeding with JavaScript today, and I want to welcome you back again so that we can proceed furthermore. We have our HTML file and we have a JavaScript up and running. Let me try to test it if it is working well. Just putting something here and then say welcome back. So I want to run this one by using live server like this. Yep, everything is fine. Okay, now I want to divide as usual. Divide it like this way. Perfect. Now let's try to open this console so we can see everything here. Let's try also to log out to the console. Something and to log out. I think you remember it well. What are these functions? What does console.log means? You know it. So it is a continuation actually. If you want to learn it, I'm gonna provide a link to the description below so that you can find out the previous one. Okay, let's try to log something to this console. So let's say hello world and try to, yeah, it's working fine. No, from the last video where we end up by adding event listener to a button, and for now let's just create a button like this one and then say click, and then we have our button here. So then we need to add an event listener to this button so that if somebody clicks it, we need to run some function on it. So to add an event listener, we must get a reference to this button first, as I have told you like before. So we need to add ID here and say, let's say btn, like that, and then copying this ID and coming back to our main.js. So we create a variable, let's call it by using let keyword, and let's say this is button. And to get a reference, we're going to use document dot, I want to say get element by ID like this one, and then here we put that ID. Actually we have a reference. To see if it's really we have this, we get the reference to this button. Let's try to log out button so you can see what is going on. Yeah, we have our button. Perfect. Now it's a time to add that event listener here. For example, if we want to add a click listener to this button, we just type button.add event listener, and here you're going to specify that type of event we want. It is click event like this, and here it's where we put a callback function. So we can use an arrow function like this and something like that, or you can use keyword function like this and opening and curly brackets. All are acceptable words. So for the sake of simplicity, and this one is pretty much good and easy to understand, I want to use arrow function. So far this is a new feature in JavaScript, so it's better to be updated, is it? Okay, so let's try to say log something to the console after clicking button. So let's say you clicked me now. That is. So let's click now if it's really working. There it is. Perfect. So this is how to add a click event listener to the button. For example, let's say we want to add event listener like what we say mouse over. Then I think it's not this way. We also have I'm gonna explain to you later on all types of event listener we need. So here is where we put that event listener like that, click event listener, you know that. Another way to add event listener to an HTML element is by using inline JavaScript like this one. Here you can say click, you can say on click, like this. And then here we're going to run a function if the button is clicked. So we specify that function here. Let's say whatever you want, just write function like that. It is a function, so we put like this, and here we need to create this function in our actual JavaScript file here. So this is how I want to create a function, and then we must specify a keyword function here, function like that. So it's going to work fine. Then let's try to log something to the console by saying done. Let's try it. Yep. So this is another way of adding event listener to an HTML element. Moving on. So I want to give you an exercise that let's try to add an event listener. I'm going to try to create something interesting, a little bit interesting, but not at all. I'm going to try to create a calculator so that if somebody click the button add, it's going to add two numbers and result will be displayed to the browser. So you can pause the video and then try it out, then come back and see my solution. Okay, welcome back. So to implement something like that, we already have our button here and it having this function. So inside this one, it's time to create our function. I just resume it back, and then here we have this function which we have already created here. And within this function, if somebody clicks this one, we need to add two numbers. So actually let's change this word to be add, like that. And then here we need to create variables. Let's say let number one, I want to say number one is equal to 10, let's say, and then let again second number to be something like 20, whatever the case, and then we say log number one plus second number. Yep. So let's try out. Good, working fine. So 20 plus 10, we get 30, like that. So if you click this one, you get 30, something like that. Interesting, is it? Now after this is very much easier. Now let's make something complicated here, and let's try to add an input here. Let's say input, let's say it's number, the type is number. And then here let's try to put a placeholder here, and then say this is first number, like that. You're gonna see here. Yep. And then let's add a break tag here, break tag, and then below this one create another input tag with type number, like this one, and it's also a placeholder. I say this is second number. Perfect. So here we are, and then here we also add br break tag one more time. Yep. So what I mean here is that I want to add type something here and here, then if I click this button, you're gonna get the sum of these two numbers which I entered here. Okay, so let's proceed. But this first input, we need to put an ID here and say, let's say F number, whatever the case. And for the second one, we just say S number. Great. Now it's the time to get the reference to this input fields. So inside this function, within this function click, we need everything to be within this function. After clicking the button, then we're gonna get the reference to this button and then also get the value of this button. So let's say I'm gonna say let F number is equal to document dot what dot get element by ID. So remember that we say it's f number, and then here we have our reference. Let's prove it is fine to make everything is working as expected. There it is. And then let's say again, let set number is equal to document dot get element by ID, and here I'm gonna copy this ID real quick like this, bring it back here like this one. So to actually test if we have this, we have reference to this input field. Let's say logout if number. Let's try out. Click this button. What's going to happen? There we are. And proof for the second is number. Good. Let's try it. Good. Everything is good now. So in order to get the input, the value of this input field here, after getting reference to the specific input field, then we put dot, we need value of that one. Not value, it's just value. Sorry. Oh, sorry. I'll keep trying. Value. Like a value. Yep, like that. And dot again here. Yeah, so both we have input for both values. So let's try to log out f number if we really have that one. Let's try to click. We have nothing here because we didn't type anything. So let's do some changes so that I can refresh it. Yep, now let's try to type something here and say 10 then plus. Yes, we have 10. Actually we are getting a reference. Now what next is just to add these two numbers. So I'm gonna say log out if number. Pretty much easy, is it? Programming is so much amazing. So number, second number, like that. So let's try to write something 10 if 90, fine, anything 100. So we're gonna get, oh I'm sorry, here everything we get, everything we type into our input fields, it will be obtained as a string. We get it as a string, anything you type, even if it is a number, but if you get this value it will be turned as a string. That's why after adding these two numbers, it just does not provide the value we like it, the value we are expecting to, but what we have is just concatenation of these two words, like 10 plus 20. Let's see it again. You're going to see 10 20, but actually we don't like this. So to fix this one, we need to convert these input fields to number. How can we do something like that? Pretty much simple. So here you can do it in any way you want. You can say like this log and then say number, post the function number, and if, oh sorry, I think this is not going to work. Let's convert them first here. Cut this one out and then type a function number like this and put this one inside it, and then do the same for the second one. Okay, like this. Sorry, here I'm gonna cut this copying up to here and cut it out like that, and then we have a number. Then let's paste it here, and then here we have it. So to see if it's well, we have number, document get rid. Yep, like that. So if now we say f number then plus s number, let's see if it's working fine. Let's try to put something now 10, and then let's add 20 and click this add button. Yep, there it is. So you see how to solve it. By using this number, we are converting the string to a number, so that after adding them we actually get the desired value. That's it. The next thing we are going to do here is actually to